Hi, this is Roy and Allison Barbary with Our Healthy Ways, and today we are spending some time with Tara Millen.
Tara is a born and raised Canadian living on Vancouver Island and the creator of 40bluefruity.com. And she believes you can embrace raw foods no matter what climate you're in, and she takes a no-nonsense approach. So anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's pretty much it. I really truly believe that there is no obstacle in the raw food lifestyle if you truly want to live it that you cannot overcome. I think that everything has a simple answer or something that you can do to make it possible. And so that's what I try to provide. It's a way to do it.
So why don't you say like how and why you got started?
Yeah, I grew up having health problems, maybe not very severe health problems, but I have always wondered why things that seemed to work for other people never worked for me. And even when I started doing the raw food diet in general, found the high-fat raw diet and started living that way because I really truly thought it was the only way to eat raw. But I couldn't understand why I was still overweight, why I still had acne, why I still felt lethargic, my skin was turning yellow, and it's me on this journey of trying to find the way that my body would work best with food, where I didn't have to restrict, where I could eat all I cared for and not have to feel guilty or have all these health problems from it. So I found the low-fat raw lifestyle, actually by Harley, also known as Green Rider, for the forums I was on, and he ended up getting banned from that forum, and so did I afterwards, because I became a fruit evangelist on it, and I didn't like it.
Oh my.
That happens sometimes. But yeah, and I found this lifestyle, and I embraced it right away, and I started to see all these problems that I had for years finally clear up. And now, 4 years later, I don't have any of those health concerns anymore. That's why I continue to live this lifestyle, because it just works so well for my body.
That's cool.
That is awesome. So you really think a lot of that had to do with going low fat in particular. Yeah, we found that for us as well.
Yeah, the low-fat raw, there's just something special about it, and I just love it. Like, I've tried cooked food and that kind of thing, but it's okay, but it just doesn't give me the amazing results that
Wow.
I'm healthy and I'm happy for so long that now there's no way that I feel comfortable feeling less than fantastic all the time.
Wow.
So I have a new kind of level of health that I've reached that I want to stay at because it feels so good.
Right.
So, with all that in mind and, what that's meant to you personally, we've watched your videos and we know about your book and your website, 40 Below Fruity. What mission and purpose do you feel like you're, trying to fulfill or help other people with, through all the things that you're spending a lot of energy creating?
I just want everyone to feel happy and healthy. I want to try to help the people specifically who have been wondering for years if something's wrong with them and why doesn't it work for me? Why do I try something new and it's so frustrating and never having that answer? So I guess what I'm trying to do is provide people with the answer that I wish I had gotten when I started. To teach people that, yeah, you have a sensitive body and you can eat one nut and get cystic acne. Or I had a cortisol within my salad dressing last night, and I had to lay down. I was crying. My stomach was in agony. I felt like I had knives in there. So it is true that some of us are so incredibly sensitive, and I want to try to help those people. But the bigger picture that I want to see is I want to see food trees lining every city street. I want people to have food freedom because I truly believe that growing your own food equals food freedom. And if people didn't have to try to afford food at a grocery store at these premium prices, then they would have a lot less stress in their lives. They wouldn't have to do the work that they don't want to do and work for other people and do these jobs that they don't like just to afford their living situation.
It is frustrating that junk food is so much cheaper than fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
I loved how your website said that you want women everywhere to feel comfortable in their own skin. I think that's huge for women.
Yeah.
So moving on, I've got an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old, and they both dance all day for school. And so they're dancing all day long. And like the other day, they got a 10-minute break in the entire day. So what do you recommend for just getting your calories in and something that you can just eat really fast in 10 minutes?
Especially with dancing. I'm a dancer as well, but not to that extent, I wish. But my absolute top recommendation for that would be to blend a Gatorade, something with dates, coconut water, and celery. One, because dates will give you the carbohydrates that you need, and the sugar that's essential. Coconut water is going to give you the electrolytes and high sodium as well, and same with the celery and any minerals and vitamins. That would be something that you can blend and maybe put in the fridge. If you do have a fridge where they are,
I think
that
so.
would be
Yeah, it's cool.
How many calories do you think you can get in that?
10 minutes. It's hard because you also have to try to digest it after
Yeah.
that. I mean, you
Yeah.
can get a certain amount of calories in the Gatorade. I'd say you could probably get 1,000 easily. Maybe not be able to
Wow.
drink it in minutes, but if you can have it before dance, and then that 10-minute break, and then after as well, it'd be hard. I mean, I've been in that situation before where I only had a 15-minute break and a 30-minute break on a whole day and trying to get 3,000 calories in. Before work, after work, and try to fit it in, it's tough. There's no simple answer.
Right, right.
So you just put all that in a Vitamix, mix it up, and then carry it in some glass container.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It doesn't take as good hours after, but you have to do what you can do.
Oh yeah. We all face that because I leave and I'm gone for work most of the time during the day as well. It's a bit of a challenge. So, you know, you mentioned earlier that at some point you had struggled with acne, and we have a house full of teenagers. We have 6 teenagers at one time at home right now. We have a total of 12 children. 3 have moved out. But anyway, so what do you recommend we do to help them keep clear skin and get through those difficult emotional years?
First thing, cut out dairy. I know a lot of people use huge difference. Personally, I cut out dairy and my skin was still as worse as it has ever been, as bad as it has ever been. But that's just, I'm kind of a different case in that sense. But my partner, he cut dairy out of his life, and his skin turned out to be glowing.
Wow.
Me, I'd be cutting out salt, nuts, and seeds, any kind of thing that even slightly irritating my body will cause acne immediately when I did it.
Even like almond milk or anything like that?
No nuts and seeds or salt.
Got it.
My body, for some reason, is just will not accept these foods. Seed is a blunt thing now, but for the average person, cutting out dairy is a huge one, replacing that with some sort of plant-based milk, and lowering the amount of excess sodium in their diet. A lot of the times, there's just so much junk food going into teenagers' bodies, and body just cannot deal with it. And one of the ways we detox is through our skin. So dairy and excess sodium are huge.
So we mentioned that you live in Vancouver Island. Why do you choose to live in such a cold climate?
Well, Vancouver Island isn't as cold, actually, and that's why I choose to live here.
Oh.
When I started 40 Below 30, I was living in a really small, isolated town where everybody lived at least 5 or 10 kilometers away from one another, and they're all homestead. And I lived almost an hour from the nearest town, and it was just bitter cold. And to be honest, I didn't really like it all that much. And so
Yeah.
it was just a temporary situation. We're working with some sled dogs. Really, really cheap.
Cool.
Home already was Vancouver Island. I'm Ontario originally, but we moved to here because it's such a sense of community. We've got the mountains. I can look out behind me right now, and I look down onto the river.
Wow.
And on top of that, we have fruit trees growing on our property. We can grow figs here. We can grow so many different varieties of fruit and vegetables as well. And because it's a rainforest, it's a temperate rainforest.
Oh, wow.
And some challenges because it does rain about 5 months of the year, and it can get very depressing. And it's still cold, that kind of cold where it's wet and it seeps into everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were going to ask you. Is
Yeah.
does the weather affect your mood?
Yeah, oh, absolutely it does. I mean, without the sun, oftentimes I'll go into Canada for a little bit during the winter because I just need some sort of vitamin D, and I find supplements don't really work for me. Ideally, I'd love to live in Hawaii. Actually, 40 Below 30 has enabled me to feel better in the winter because I see that I'm not alone, and I'm able to help inspire people, and that makes it easier for me.
So that's good. Tennessee gets kind of dark in the winter, but I can't imagine that it's quite the same as there. And, you know, you brought up an interesting thing. It wasn't really on the list of questions I had, but do you guys have some property and space where you can grow? We live on 8 acres, and we every year make an attempt and make a little progress and grow our own garden and that sort of thing as well.
we live on 5 acres. It's not our property, but the landlords travel 80% of the time, and they
Wow.
the garden space, and they said, here you go, use it.
Wow.
Go ahead, plant whatever you want.
That's
So,
awesome.
and then we have 2 big trees right now. We've got 1 big tree that has 11 figs on it.
Those
We
are my
love
favorite.
bush, yeah.
And we have, what trees do we have? We have Asian pear, regular pear, apple, cherry,
Wow.
plum, nectarine, peach. We have blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, salmonberries, huckleberries, and then the vegetables. So
So you pretty much don't have to pay for groceries.
it's the summer months, yeah. And then we have a beautiful farmer's market that's only about a 10-kilometer bike away, so it's like there in the summer. Our goal, actually, my whole vision, the kind of in the line 40 below 30, is that we want to have a homestead where we have enough food to sustain us all year round
Wow.
in Canada, where we can dry it or freeze it or just put it in cold storage, and have the streets and show people how to grow their own food.
Well, you know, we were talking about dark and wet and those kinds of things. We've had one of the hardest winters we've had in Tennessee for a long time, and for us, that's low single-digit temperatures that were sustained, which is not normal. And we talked about the emotional impact of that. So one of the things that we've done to combat that is we've, tried to add exercise into our daily routines, because it's just like the best natural drug known to us, at least. And so how do you handle exercise, and what role does that play in, your lifestyle?
My teenage years, I exercised a fair bit, quite a bit actually, and worked in the fitness industry. But I had a really poor diet, so I always thought, well, exercise doesn't do anything for me. And this past winter, coming up to this point now, it was the first time that I had ever consistently added intense exercise into my lifestyle.
Just
Wow.
this in the last year, you're saying?
In the past 5 months, actually, I've had very consistent exercise, high-intensity interval training, and then some days where it's less intensity, but always consistent. And I have felt the best I've ever felt in my life.
So you lost weight, and when you started raw and all that, you weren't exercising at all.
Well, I was, but it was pretty lax, I have to say. I thought I needed exercise really well through it,
Yeah.
Actually, because of that, I suffered from so many digestive issues because I was on antibiotic medication for 7 years for my acne. And I had reoccurring bowel issues and digestive issues. So I would lose the weight and then gain the weight and then lose it and gain it and up and down for the first 2 years of the lifestyle.
Of the 80-10-10.
Yeah, because my body was supposed to be through the healing where everything would just shut down for a little while to heal something and then it would come back up again.
Wow.
And I actually have found now that with consistent exercise, I haven't had any of that. So exercise has been really
That's good to know.
So it's been really key for helping your digestion.
huge, absolutely. It's been the biggest difference I've ever noticed in my body. I lost weight before, even when I was living, my partner and I were living in Australia about a year ago, and I lost weight there, and I was just running regularly, but I didn't have any strength exercises or any body weight exercises mixed in with that, and I lost the weight, but I didn't look toned. I didn't feel good. And now I actually still weigh slightly more than I did then, but I feel way better about myself.
So you
That's cool.
suggest lifting or just body weight exercises?
I suggest a mixture of everything. Definitely. You need the cardio, absolutely.
So would you mind sharing specifically some of the exercises that you do, since if you feel that great, you look great, so everyone's going to want to know what you're doing.
Well, on average now, because I'm now working at home, which is amazing, and I can get in so much more exercise. But on average, it was high-intensity interval training for 5 days a week. It's only 25 minutes a day, but it includes cardio and strength, and then some stretching as well, like a day of kind of yoga-style exercise. I'm now integrating running, like not long distance, but for me, a longer distance than I've done before. Just 5-kilometer easy runs, 10K easy runs, and then just a mixture of, if I feel like resting a day, I will rest. I also do long bike rides and that kind of thing. It's essential for me to do something that I love and to not feel like I'm pushing myself too hard. Because if I were to have to do an hour of high-intensity interval training every day, for example, I quit.
That'd be hard.
I found me it's a really delicate balance between really enjoying it, doing enough exercise that I feel great, but not overdoing it.
But it sounds like you're actually doing a fair amount of exercise. I mean, just enjoyable exercise, though.
Yeah, probably about 5 hours a week on average, and that makes me feel great.
That is in addition to the high intensity?
So that's just total.
Oh, okay.